Hello and welcome back to the tournament. This is the game we've all been waiting for, the final. This is game 1 between Navi and Gent. It is a domination match on Valley. Let's get into it. So, Navi drops 3 Gales, 1 Aljun, 1 Blitz, and 1 Hawk, while Gent drops 1 Blitz, 2 Hawks, 2 Gales, and 1 Leech. It's pretty uncommon to see 3 Gales get dropped at the beginning of a game, so we'll see how that affects Navi's performance in this game. And this is a domination match, so keep in mind that people will not be able to spawn on their beacons, but they will have to walk from their spawn all the way to where the fight is happening, which is both a good thing and a bad thing for capping beacons. It'll make it easier to cap them, but it'll also make it harder to hold them. So we'll see how that affects it. There is a Gent Gale that flies up right into center at the beginning of the game, but it does not have enough ability to stay at center, cap it for their team, and come back safely, so they have to retreat, and then a NAVI Gale, which was waiting behind this center cover, flies up, has enough ability charge to fly to center beacon, cap it, and return back. Now we can see a Gent Blitz is along right side. This Blitz on Navi's side able to suppress it and lock it down, so this Navi Blitz will be taking significantly less damage if that Leech had not shown up and helped out. So now it looks like again that Gent Gale goes up, tries to cap center, but that Navi Gale is waiting for it and watches, goes back into center and prevents it from capping it. And now this Blitz here has to do a 2v1 with 1 Leech that's relatively fresh. Is able to take out that Blitz without activating its ability, and you can see this Leech's ability just ended. This Blitz is able to suppress that Leech, so its shield lasts a lot longer. That Leech has to reload, and this Blitz is able to kill 2 players with 1 stone, or ability charge, if you will. And then one of those Navi Gales waiting for it once it's done to heal up. So again, looks like the center beacon was just contended, but the Navi Gales are doing an incredible job of keeping coverage on there. This Blitz going to right side to try and take a little bit of pressure off of center. It looks like, though, that Gent is sending a couple more players to the left side to try and grab Navi's left side home beacon. And it seems like Navi is bagging a couple more kills. Not too many, but a couple more kills than Gent is, which will definitely affect them later in this game. Looks like Gent is making a push for the center beacon with them starting to be able to cap it. Navi Gale is in there right now. This Gent Gale has to drop down in order to keep influencing the center beacon. This player gets taken out, drops a Hawk. And now the Aljuns of Navi's side are trying to get those Gent players out, but they're not successful. Now this Hawk drops down, and it looks like Navi has to figure out a way to get center beacon back. They are looking very good on beacon bars right now, with Gent only slightly behind Navi, but again, it's only about 3 minutes into this game, and it still could go either way. Looks like Navi's left side beacon almost got capped there by a Gent player, which would have had a 4 cap on them, which is a big problem for them. Again, overextending by Gent. Just lost another player there, while Navi still is not. This Hawk flies up in order to not get damaged by that Aljun too much. Aljun dropping down, taking significant damage from the Hawk, even though it's exposed for not even a full second. This Hawk from Gent drops down right at center and takes significant damage from this Hawk, and then returns fire back to this Hawk, getting them both on last stand, but the Navi players have a Aljun watching that area. Looks like they're making a push for center, with center currently white, with no team having it at the moment. This player definitely doing his best to preserve his Hawk as long as he can because of its incredible ability. Able to dish out damage at a scale that we really haven't seen before in War Robots. Still, the center beacon has not been capped. Looks like both teams are organizing to try and make a push for it. Looks like this Hawk is trying to go to prevent this Aljun from flying before it gets its ability again. Looks like he's a bit too late. He flies up to try and combat him, but the Hawk Reflector Shield allows the Hawk to get the kill from that June that was shooting him. And then you see the enemy team does pretty much the only thing that you can do against a Hawk in flight in this tournament is shoot a Hawk with another Hawk. And they trade damage. Looks like during this time, Gent was able to take the center beacon, and they have a couple Nightingales waiting behind that cover. Right there, you can see this Nightingale flying into center. A Gent Gale goes up. A secondary Gale from Navi was able to fly up when it was almost walked into center, so it has a lot more ability charge, but it also has to retreat while that Gent Gale is able to keep the center beacon for their team. Alright, now it looks like this Gale is going to be making a flight towards center again. Has a bit of a weird drop there, kind of gets hung up on this lip and has to fly all the way over to center beacon, almost at about half ability charge by the time it actually gets to the center, with that Gent Gale seeing this and then immediately flying up as well. This Navi Gale is a little bit too low, so it gets stuck at center, which generally would be a very, very bad thing where you would immediately get taken out, but this player is able to go hide in this wall that no one is able to get it from for a little bit because everyone has backed out. That Gent Gale has to back up because its ability is running out, so this Gale gets its ability at the perfect time and is able to start capping the center beacon. That second Gent Gale, as they're trading off, does not have enough time to get to center to prevent Navi from capping it, so Navi is able to grab the center and then also almost grabs left side, which definitely puts the turn on Gent, even though Gent has been pretty dominant in this game so far. Looks like a Gent Gale goes back towards Navi's home, trying to possibly grab Navi's left side again like they have been this whole game, and again, we'll see how that affects them later in this game. This Gale has to walk out into center to prevent that Gent Gale from grabbing it, but that Gent Gale drop, this Navi Gale can fly up, and then the Navi teammates can put a Hawk ability on that Gale and easily take it out. Now, Navi's in a great position with this Gale being able to walk immediately into center. It still has some pretty good health at the moment, and Gent is trying to figure out a way that they can take center. You can see again the center beacon is being contended, but that Gent Gale has to back up again while the Navi Gale flies in to prevent them from taking it. That Navi Gale backs up. This one just got its ability and now can hover over center for another couple seconds. So now you can see here both beacon bars at about 2.5 minutes are getting pretty equal at this point. Whatever team is able to grab center and hold center will win, but it's still anybody's game at this point. You can see now a blitz from Gent is at center, and a Gent Gale also goes up at center with the center beacon starting to be turned. Looks like that Navi Gale is able to make it there before it is turned white though, so that will hover around blue for a while, with also Gent's left side beacon almost being capped. Again, be getting a little bit more aggressive here after the very conservative start to this game from both the teams. Now this player has to drop an June after getting taken out in the Gale. Goes to right side immediately, sees an enemy Gale trying to sneak its way down right side. Looks like this Gale notices it's not going to cap that beacon, tries to fly back towards center. This player recognizes that that Gale's ability is almost out. A Gale gets a bad drop, and this June is able to take it out using those nucleons. So now it looks like, again, center is being contended over. We have 8 going up. Trying to prevent that Gent player from capping it. This Hawk drops down into center to try and bring it back towards blue. Again, they're successful in doing that, and it looks like Gent is running out of players. Like we've seen through this whole tournament, whichever team starts to push a little bit more at the beginning of the game generally ends up losing at the end if they're not able to take out the enemy team quicker than the enemy team kills them. See here, now Gent only has 1 player left while Navi still has 5. So this easily makes a victory for them, even though only 30 seconds ago, Gent still had 4 to 5 players. That's how quickly a game can turn around. This was the first game between Navi and Gent, with Navi winning the first domination match. The next match is a beacon. This is the second game between Navi and Gent. It is a beacon rush game on Canyon. Let's get into it. So Navi drops 1 Blitz, 1 Aljun, 1 Hawk, 1 Leech, and 2 Gales, while Gent drops about 2 Gales, 2 Hawks, 1 Blitz, and 1 Aljun. I say about because I don't get too much of a good angle this time, so I'm not able to verify that. So it looks like Navi is a little bit more geared towards the longer and open range of this map, with not too many covers there, and the longer range bots like the Aljun, the Hawk, and the Leech in their starting lineup. So this player in the Blitz goes right to their left side beacon, while a Navi Gale goes right to center and tries to cap it, and is mostly successful until a Gent Gale arrives there as well. Actually 2 do, and they attempt to switch off, but Navi is able to cap the center beacon before they are able to prevent that from happening, and then have a presence in center. So those 2 Gales start to get hit pretty hard from the longer range bots that Navi has started with. And it looks like this Blitz is fighting another Blitz right here. Just notice that the enemy used its ability and is able to lock and suppress the enemy and kill it with taking minimal damage to itself, being able to move closer to Gent's home beacon along the left side. Now it looks like 2 Hawks just dropped on Gent's side. We'll see a 3rd Hawk dropping down right here, getting locked by this Blitz. Trying to make good use of Hawk's weakness while it's on the ground. Looks like there's 1 Hawk up. Here's the second one. Or should I say the 3rd. So if Gent is able to keep these 3 Hawks in the game for an extended amount of time, they'll definitely be able to score huge damage against Navi's team. Looks like this Hawk is able to bring this Blitz to last stand, but that Blitz is also able to bring that Hawk to last stand. Looks like this Blitz is going to try to advance and prevent that Hawk from getting its ability again. It has been some time since that Hawk dropped. We'll see. Looks like it just got there at the wrong amount of time. This Blitz gets taken out by those Hawks. This is Beacon Rush again, so it will make it easier to hold beacons, but also make it harder to cap them, because you will be able to spawn on your beacons, but that also means that enemies will be able to spawn on theirs. So if you're taking something, you'd have to make sure either that you have enough firepower to take out those enemies that are going to be spawning there, or you don't kill anyone for that short amount of time until that beacon is white and they can no longer spawn there. So now this player drops an Aljun along left side, trying to use the long range and high damage of the nucleons to its advantage, trying to shoot those Gent players that are at center right now, with another Gent Hawk dropping down behind this cover that this player seems to be returning to again, with this Navi player being able to take out that Hawk. This far in the game, it's about 3 or so minutes in, and in the beacon bars, Navi has a very strong lead at the moment, with Gent starting to take a hit to their beacon bar. Center was just pushed on, and it looks like neither team has possession of it right now, with being a bit of a stalemate at the moment. It looks like Gent has a Gale that's flying into center right now. They probably will be able to take it. There they go. But it looks like another Navi player has joined this one along left side, and another Aljun. You can see there's another Aljun to this player's right that is shooting into those Gent players at center, along with that Hawk. They're really slamming those players out in the open using the long-range weapons and the low cover of Canyon to their advantage. Again, being very cautious at the beginning of the game, still knowing that if they bot out, it will be the end for them. Almost It looks like 3 NAVI players are starting to move towards left side a little bit, try to put some pressure on Gent's home beacon and try and get some pressure off of the center so they can possibly cap it. It looks like one of NAVI's home beacons is starting to get turned a little bit, but that means that a NAVI player will most likely spawn there, and again, with this beacon, they probably had a chance to take that if that were Dom, but again, an enemy was able to spawn on that beacon and pushed him out. So now this player, for the second time, spawns along that left side beacon, now in a Hawk. Again, one of the longer range setups in this hangar, with its ability being 500 meters. Not necessarily the weapons being too long range, though. Looks like the distraction along left side has worked, being able to pull 2 Gent players off of center over towards left side, with now a Gent Gale going towards center to try and help keep it, as it is under contention right now, but Gent was just able to push them out and recap it for themselves. This player here trying to use Glacier and Rime splash damage towards this Ao Jun that is hiding behind this cover right here. You can see this Ao Jun from Gent is firing at those NAVI players in center, and this player knows he has to get that Ao Jun out of there, or else it'll do some serious damage and be able to prevent NAVI from doing a successful push along the center beacon. You can see it's hitting that Scourge Leech hard, but that Scourge Leech is able to take out that Ao Jun because this Hawk was able to bring it to last stand. Looks like this Gent Gale starting to notice this Hawk going along left side again, trying to pull that Nightingale off of center so its teammates are able to cap center. So now it looks like NAVI's and Gent's beacon bars have started to equalize a little bit, with NAVI giving the center, or Gent taking the center for the last couple minutes, with NAVI's beacon bar starting to look a little bit smaller than Gent's at this time. It's anybody's game at this point, but NAVI's going to start to have to do something in these next couple minutes if they want to take victory here. Looks like this Leech is coming in to try and take out these Hawks that are here. One NAVI Hawk just dropped down on right side, gets taken out by that Leech, which ignores this Hawk. This Hawk sees an opportunity to go to left side, possibly take out some more enemies, maybe cause a distraction on left side like it's been trying to do this entire game. Uses the Hawk ability on this Leech. Again, Beacon Rush. The Gent players spawn on that beacon, preventing them from taking it. This player drops a Gale. Now there's a big push going for center right now, with about 3 to 4 Gent players going to center. Those Gent players, and they're able to cap center for themselves with, looks like 2 Scourge Leeches using that long range, and then a Gale to heal them, with also Blitz over there. Like this Nightingale along left side is going to be still just trying to do the same thing it's been doing the whole game, just distract players off of center and hopefully get some kills along the way. And it looks like this Gale's pushing forward towards left side beacon with a Blitz on the ground coming to support it. Long range Hawk from Navi's side hitting that Scourge Leech, with this Nightingale suppressing the enemies going after this Blitz. Right here it looks like they're able to cap left side home beacon, the home beacon of Gent, killing a bunch of enemies. And again, we can see here that Navi's more passive play style of allowing Gent to overextend themselves and therefore give Navi more kills is paying off, with Gent running out of players once again, while Navi still has a team of 6. Gent now only has 2 players left in the game. They still have robots. Reduced to 1 at around 1 minute. Navi takes the final by 2-0, winning both games. This was the second game against Gent, and Navi's second victory against Gent. It was the Beacon Rush game against Canyon, and champion of this tournament. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.